We all know that death is inevitable, and we also know that there are people behind the scenes. I'm one of those people. I am a mortuary cosmetologist. My name is Bliss Testimony, and welcome to my channel, Drop Dead Gorgeous, where we explore the cosmetic side of the funeral home industry. If you're interested in things like this, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my videos, give me a huge thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. In this video, we're going to discuss the differences between mortuary makeup and regular makeup. Not too many people know that there's a difference, but there's a big difference. And in this video, I'm going to explain things to you and demonstrate the different techniques and the different foundations that I've used and what works. So, stay tuned. In this video, we'll go over part 2 where we will discuss mortuary makeup. And if you haven't checked out part 1 where I went over regular foundations, do so, just so you won't miss out on anything. Now it's time for mortuary makeup. Ha ha ha. I am spraying my mannequin just to give it a base so that the makeup can stick a little better. I didn't show you before because I forgot. Now don't go crazy like I did, because I felt like an old lady on a windy day. After just getting a roller set, I went crazy with the spray. Don't do this, because it will add a lot more sticky texture when you just want something where the makeup can grab on the mannequin. The hairspray also aids in easy makeup removal after you finished painting on your mannequin. And since I went crazy with the hairspray, I'm just speeding up the process by drying it. That's all. But the blow dry will help you a lot in other services that you do. The first foundation that we're going to use out of the mortuary kit is the oil-based cream makeup. And if you see that it has a really slick texture, it's a lot heavier than most makeups. Yo, faithful, there you are again. So we have our stipple brush and we have our short tapping motions. And sometimes I like to start in the middle and kind of go in a circle. And then sometimes I get sporadic and go all over the place. I'm an artist, so you know, who knows? As long as we get the job done. But using the stipple brush, you can just go over the areas that need to be covered a lot more. And I also forgot to mention that depending on what makeup you use and how much you use, it depends on the look that they're going for. So someone that wants natural makeup or never really wore makeup in life, their family's not going to want a lot of makeup, but you have to let them know that makeup is necessary. Because if not, then they will look exactly as what they are before you started. A dead person. And I hate to be insensitive saying it like that, but they will, because they have no color, they have no life. So the makeup is what brings that person back to life, per se. Another tip is you can blend foundations and colors. You don't necessarily have to use the same one, because although it may look like they match one of the colors, people have a lot of different undertones. So you can use the other cosmetics inside the case to make a concoction. I say go for it. This is another brush that I like to use. I don't know the name, so don't come for me. If you are a mortuary makeup artist or an embalmer and you know what this brush is, leave a comment in the comment box. But anyway, I just like to go in and fill in little places, and then I set the face again with hairspray. I normally don't have Gots to be at the mortuary, but that's what I had on hand at the salon. And to finish the makeup look, I use loose powder or translucent powder to just dull down the shine in the makeup. Now, some people need the shine, so after I put the powder on, I'll go back with a little oil sheen. But that's a secret. Lip tinting. So, fellas, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but once you reach the afterlife and you have your viewing, you're going to wear some lip gloss or some lip tint. And that's just to mimic the undertones of redness that, your lips typically have when you're living. And it gives you color. Because if you don't have it on there, then your lips will look dry and crusty. But typically the colors inside of the Mortuary kit are very light colors and they're translucent. So if you need more color on your lips, then I would dig into the Mortuary. These other Mortuary makeup kits that they have that you can use to make different foundations, lip colors, and blushes. So if someone doesn't have a lipstick and they typically wear lipstick and you don't have any on hand, you can use these little kits to blend and make different combinations of colors. Water-based foundations. Mortuary water-based foundations come with this little spatula on the inside, which is quite convenient if you don't have a sponge or a makeup application thingamajig like I don't have. So I'm just wiping it on the skin, and then I'm going to go back with my favorite brush and blend it in. Oh wait, that's the brush that I don't know the name of, but it still does good. I also want to note that I am using a mannequin, so the foundations may not look exactly how they will look on a deceased person. And also with that, remember that each deceased person, their skin is different. I've even learned that using different embalming fluids can change the texture of a person's skin, which will affect the outcome of the makeup you use. I do want to share that I'm not necessarily a fan of the water-based Mortuary makeup foundation. I never really use it when I'm at the funeral home applying makeup. And it could look like this too because I went crazy with the hairspray. But you can see the splotches. And it probably is from the hairspray, but I never typically use it at the Mortuary, so I'm going to stick to my favorites. And I just wanted to show you the lips, and you can see how it's slightly tinted and gives you a flush-like appearance. I've been saving the best for last. Airbrush. Now I like to use Airbrush because it gives you a more even look. You don't have to use any brushes or anything and worry about leaving any spots unless you forget to spray it. But I prefer to use Airbrush for people who want a light natural makeup look, or those who have experienced trauma to the skin to where it has to be used, or even people who like the glamorous makeup look, or they wanted the glamorous makeup look. I've become quite partial to the Airbrush machine because it helps me get my job done quicker also. Did you notice that the Airbrush is the only makeup application that actually covered up the blemishes? This airbrush application, I'm going to use concealer. And the airbrush kit that we have came with a variety of airbrush colors and about 4 different levels of concealers. So I'm just going to show you what it'll actually do, if you conceal first and then airbrush, which will give you a lot more coverage, even though not using concealer will still give you coverage, but this just gives you extra coverage because sometimes people do need it. Side note, I do apply a lot of makeup with my fingers because it's just easier for me. And also, make sure you clean your brushes. I'm doing a demonstration, so I didn't, but it'll make a big difference if you don't whenever you are applying someone's makeup. Also, clean out your airbrush machine after each use. That's why I'm having such a problem right now, but I think somebody was using my airbrush machine while I was gone. Technically, it's not even mine, but it's mine when I use it. So just make sure that you clean it out. That way you can get a really good even application and you won't have these little splatters all over your mannequin or the person that you're working on. Okay, I'm going to show you one last spot of ultimate coverage with Airbrush. And I also wanted to share with you that there are primers that come inside of the kits, and they also have a sealer to seal in the airbrush makeup. I don't necessarily use it because it didn't work for me, and that's why I go to my trusty dusty translucent powder, and after that it just kind of makes it settle and it calms down the shine. Hands down, airbrush is the way to go. If you haven't transitioned over, maybe you should try it out. You'll get a lot more even results, and I feel like a lot of the families will be a lot more satisfied. Not to say that you always have to use it, because there are some families that do prefer the traditional Mortuary cosmetics, but as you can tell, it covered up all the blemishes that I made. Now for the grand finale, setting powder. Now you can use any type of setting powder that you like, but I prefer to stick with translucent because it's universal. Before applying the setting powder, I like to tap off the excess, and then there's different ways that I will apply the translucent setting powder. Right now I'm lightly tapping the mannequin, but typically I will tap the brush and let the particles fall on the mannequin, and then I'll go back and touch it up, and you can see a few little particles at the top, and I'll try to get rid of that. But it's so different trying to demonstrate on a mannequin. It's just difficult. So you can see right there where the markings are, where the brush touched the airbrush makeup. And you can use setting powder, but you just have to let it dry, and then that's where I go in with the hairspray sometimes, and I seal it because it helps to set the makeup. Hopefully this video was helpful for you, and thank you for watching. If you're interested in more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave one below, or you can email me at dropdeadgorgeous13@gmail.com. Bye guys.